If you want to max out your ability as a rugby league player, then you want to watch this whole video, because today I'm going to be talking about exactly what you should be doing on a day-by-day basis over the course of a week when it comes to your training. And hopefully in the process of doing that, I can help really reset the bar for what your understanding of physical preparation should look like for an elite athlete, and how you can start training and preparing like one right now. But first, the reason why we need to start off with resetting the bar is that you have been lied to. You've been lied to by coaches, by trainers, by commentators and journalists. In fact, you've been lied to by people from almost every corner within the world of rugby league. You've been lied to that rugby league is an elite sport. It's not. It's a professional sport, which means you get paid, but it's definitely not an elite sport. An elite sport is one where the only way that you'll ever have a chance of getting to the top is to do every single thing right. It's countless hours of preparation every single day for years on end. And even then, that still only gives you a chance. Nothing's ever guaranteed. Let me try and make it a bit clearer, okay? Think of the Olympic Games, and let's think of the pinnacle event at the Olympics, which is the 100-meter men's track final. Go on YouTube, have a look at the runners lined up, waiting for the starter's gun. Not a shred of body fat on any of them. All absolute specimens at the top of their game, and that's what it is to be elite. Again, at the Olympics, Australia always does well in the pool, so we Aussies tend to watch those events a lot closer than some of the other sports. Now, if you have a look at, say, the 100-meter freestyle final, what do you notice? The swimmers, they all look almost exactly the same. They almost look like clones of one another. Big, wide shoulders, huge lats, where all their power comes from, and a massive V-taper coming down to a small waist. Again, with no fat on them. Now, why do they look that way? Well, because the demands of the sport dictate that the optimal physique for swimming is exactly what they have. That's why those 8 swimmers standing up on the starting platform are in the final at the Olympic Games in the first place, because they've obtained as close as possible to perfection when it comes to their sport. Now, let's have a look at one final example. Female gymnasts. Obviously here, we're talking about the Olympics, right? So in no other sport will you see such a balance of unbelievable strength and explosive power combined with grace, precision, timing, and finesse. The women in that sport don't just need 1 or 2 or even 3 of those attributes. They need every single one, or they wouldn't be there. And that's what it is to be elite. It's to meet or even exceed every single marker, every single target, to literally leave no stone unturned when it comes to every aspect of your preparation. Now, coming back to rugby league, how often do you hear the euphemism that this player or that player is unfit? Now, granted, when a player is said to be unfit, it could mean one of 3 things, right? A, the player's recovering from an injury and they're still not 100%. That's legitimate, injuries happen, right? B, the player is cardiovascularly unfit. Or finally, C, the most common reason that a player is referred to as being out of shape is simply because they're too fat, because they lack the self-control to regulate what goes in their mouth 24/7. And that's why they're not elite. Professional, yes. Elite, no. And that's why rugby league is not an elite sport. But if you want to become elite, if you want to max out your results and see how good a rugby league player you can be, then you need to look at what the elite do. And that means starting by following the kind of weekly schedule that elite athletes follow. Why? Because success leaves clues. Let me say that again, because repetition deepens the impression. Success leaves clues. Successful people in any field, whether it's sport, entertainment, or business, have a set of habits just like a recipe. And if you repeat those habits in the right quantity and in the right order, again, just like a recipe, you'll end up with similar results. So what does the schedule of someone looking to become elite look like? What we're going to run through is an off-season schedule for a young rugby league player who's made the decision to go all in. Now, let me preface this by saying that this person is not someone looking for balance in life. They're not concerned by being labeled obsessed by friends and family. They've made the decision to go after something to the exclusion of any and all other non-essential things in their life right now. So if that's not you, if you still want to have your sleep-ins, or if you still want to tell me, but Joe, I don't have time to train 5 hours per day, while at the same time your battery settings on your iPhone show that between TikTok and Instagram, you're spending 7 to 8 hours per day on your damn phone. If you're one of those small-minded people that only sees all the obstacles in life, then feel free to check out now. But for everyone else who wants to see what it is that they can do, both in footy and in life, let's move on and let's have a look at what we need to get done. So if we're having a look over here at our schedule, we've got our week laid out, everything that we want to be doing, okay? Let's just break it down, have a quick look. On a Monday, you're going to wake up 4:25 in the morning. You're going to wake up, you're going to have something to eat, you're going to go to the gym, okay? Next, we're going to be doing weights in the gym from 5 until 7. We're not going into the specifics of your program. That's going to be another video for another day. We're just talking about what your week should look like. When you finish training, you're going to eat, you're going to have a shower, you're going to get dressed, and you're going to go to school. So between 8:30 and roughly 4, which most kids are getting home sometime between 3:30 and 4, you're going to be at school. 4:30 to 6:30. On Mondays, we're going to be training, we're going to be doing a skills workout. It's going to be a position-specific skills workout, and it's going to be geared towards what it is that you as a player needs to be working on. 6 to 7:30, you're going to be doing your schoolwork, you're going to be studying. You've still got obligations in life, you need to fulfill those obligations. 7:30 to 9, we're going to be training again. It's going to be your flexibility and your mobility work while you're performing iron mind work. Now, what that means is you're going to be doing your stretching, your foam rolling, your trigger point release, all of that kind of self-massage. You're going to be doing all of that. And ideally, by all means, sit there and watch something. You can watch something on TV, on an iPad, whatever it is, Netflix. But you know what? Watch something that's useful. There's that many sports movies that are out there. There's business movies, there's entertainment movies where you see people that are being successful or that are trying to be successful, and you see their journeys. You've got to start filling your head with that stuff, right? Okay, so that's what we're doing on a Monday and on a Thursday. Tuesday, Friday, we're waking up and we're eating 4:25 again. We're doing weights. This time we're hitting our upper body. Eat, shower, get dressed, go to school. When we come back from school, we're going to be doing a field session on the Tuesday and on the Friday. Okay, again, your field session, it could be geared towards developing speed, acceleration. It could be geared towards developing change of direction. It might be because your con is crap and you need to be burning some extra calories as well to get your body fat levels down. Again, that's specific to the individual. You do your field session, you then come back, you're going to be doing your schoolwork and your study again. And then again, we're doing our flexibility and mobility work at night. Just as a bit of a side note, doing your stretching before bed actually does improve recovery and it helps you to sleep. Moving on, Wednesday, bit of a reset and a rest in the morning. We're not training. You can have a little bit more of a sleep in, eat, shower, go to school. We come back at 4:30. We're training. We're doing our skills program again. After that, you've got your study, then you've got your flexibility and mobility. You're probably starting to see a pattern. Every day, work on your flexibility and your mobility. Saturday, in the morning, we're getting up from 7 until 8:30. We're doing our mobility and our skill work. 7 until 8:30, we've got our mobility. 8:30 until 10, we're doing our skill work. Sunday, very similar to Saturday, except instead of skill work, we're doing another field session. So we're getting 3 field sessions in per week within this program. What this amounts to is 29 hours of training per week. Now, all of it is obviously not massively physically intensive. The flexibility, mobility work, trigger point, that stuff, that's not going to really set you back as far as training load. The skill stuff, the programs that we give out to boys, it's obviously it's skill. It's not, you're not doing massive speed, you're not doing con, you're not doing resistance training during those sessions. It's skills. The skills, again, is not massively taxing. So can you do your 29 hours and fit that in and still recover? Absolutely. We've been giving programs like this to boys for nearly 10 years and the results are amazing. Okay. Now, should your week look exactly like that? No, this is just one example of what it could look like. Everyone obviously has their own particular things that they need to adjust to. This is an off season when you haven't got training on a Tuesday and a Thursday and you haven't got your game on a Saturday and a Sunday. So obviously the load can be a lot higher at this point. Does that make sense? I hope it does. If it doesn't, send any questions. Now, let's continue. So like we said, 29 hours of training per week is the workload in this example. Now, could the schedule be laid out differently? Absolutely, it's just an example, but I guarantee if you followed this or something like this, then barring injury, you're going to set yourself up to make your next season your best season. Now, some people will say, well, 29 hours is way overboard, it's way too much, you'll overtrain. What I want to know is how many hours can I do, the minimum amount of hours that I can do to get results? My answer is screw the minimum. The minimum is for people who are born with crazy levels of natural talent and ability, or for posers, for people who like to think they don't need to train that much because they can train smarter than you. Well, I put to those people that we are going to train harder, longer, and smarter than you. And so you can take that pusillanimous attitude somewhere else, crawl back into bed, give your teddy bear a nice little cuddle, and be content with being a normie. Because if you want to max out whatever level of natural ability you have and reach whatever level you can, if you want to become elite, then make your weekly schedule look like this, and I can guarantee you'll make your next season your best season. Trust me, because I'm Joe, and Joe knows.